Good evening, Facebook family and friends. It's about 10:52 p.m. here in Atlanta. And I'm sitting here having a glass of wine. And I just got back about an hour, maybe about 2 hours ago from the gym. So tonight I was working out, and I always get interrupted. Today I went to the gym in Buckhead. Lord, I bumped into a bunch of people I knew, I normally work out Atlantic Station, but I ended up going to Buckhead because I didn't want to be bothered with nobody. So I said, let me go up to Buckhead. And I still had my workout interrupted multiple times. So I was like, I'll be in this gym all night. But one of my buddies, gym buddies, very cute little kid. I mean, he's 25, but he's such a handsome little kid. I just like talking to him. And I could tell he was kind of down tonight. And so I said, okay, what's going on? So I can tell you something's not right. And he said he had met this guy, the same age as him. They were kicking it for a little while. And then just out of the blue, the guy decided that he didn't like him. So he ended their relationship, or whatever they were working on building. And my buddy was, hurt by this because he liked this guy. And he said he was really hoping this was the guy. So he's 25 years of age, a cute, very handsome guy. And I could tell tonight he was really, really hurt by this. So I was talking to him, and I said, let me tell you something. Rejection is God's protection. I had to explain to him, I've been rejected many times by many guys I met that I thought this was the person, this is it. Finally, I meet somebody I'm like, we're going to have something here. And it didn't work out. When I look back over the years, I'm not a religious person, but I look back over the years at all those guys that I met that rejected me, I'm so grateful I never entered into a relationship with those guys. Most of those guys are dead or on drugs. They don't look anything like they used to look like. They've had horrible lives here in Atlanta. I never forget, in 1992, I met this guy here in Atlanta who was something to do with the medical tech. He worked at Crawford Long Hospital. And I immediately fell in love with this man. I thought, this is such a handsome, nice guy, but he rejected me. We dated for a little while, and then he felt that I was not his type, is what he told me. That he wanted something different. Well, he found something different. He began dating all these guys on drugs. This guy went from having a beautiful apartment overlooking Peachtree Street to living in a homeless shelter. He lost his job, he lost an apartment, he lost his cars, he lost everything before contracting HIV. He was one of the most attractive guys. He slept with all my friends, every last one of them. But I really cared about this guy for years. Years I wanted to be with him. But when I saw his life going through hell, I just stood back. And if you saw him today, in fact, he had an operation just a few years ago. He had anal cancer, and they removed his lower colon and asshole. His asshole was cut out. He has a colostomy bag now because he had anal cancer and HIV and all this other stuff going on. And this guy went from working in a hospital, educated, a good job, to working for DeKalb County's garbage pickup, picking up trash on the side of the road in the back of a garbage truck. And I was renovating houses one day, no lie. I was renovating houses in Kirkwood, and a garbage truck pulled up to the house, and he jumped off the back of that truck, and I almost fainted. This man, I could not believe my eyes. He had been arrested for drugs, stole drugs from the hospital, lost his job, was now a convicted felon. His only job he could get was working on the back, picking up trash. He looked rejection. That was God's way of protecting me from this man. This man had he walked down the same path that his parents did, with drugs, liquor, alcohol, drugs, hanging out. I didn't, of course, didn't know all this when I met him at first. Every man that rejected me, every last one of them, turned exactly positive. They were sick. Many of them died. They had horrible lives. It's went on for years here. Now, and I used to hold this stuff in my heart, and I would literally cry at night, like, I cannot believe, because I'm a relationship guy. That's why I've been in a relationship for so long. And the way these guys would break my heart and do certain things, and they would come back and say, oh, you're too tall, you too skinny, you too fat, you not this, you not that. They would come up with a million reasons to reject me. But it wasn't them that was rejecting me. It was God putting up a wall. God put up this wall around me. He was protecting me. Because he saw what was going on in these people's lives. I didn't know what was going on in their lives. I didn't have a clue what was happening with these guys. But God did. He saw it. He protected me. Rejection is God's protection in every instance. I am not kidding to you. Every guy that rejected me, their lives were horrendous. I'm in Atlanta here now since 1989. I've seen these guys die left and right. Guys that I thought I could literally fall in love with. They lost everything. Everything. One guy, I saw him one year, I'll never forget this. I was at Publix. It was a local grocery store here. And some guy came running up to me and we was talking and he had no teeth. And I remember thinking, I was like, who's this? And the more I talked to him and looked at him, it was someone that I used to date who rejected me. Now he was now trying to talk to me with no teeth. It was quite a sight. He was working at Publix grocery store in the seafood department. This man was in school at Georgia Tech. How could you go from being in school at Georgia? I know that times are, I know it's difficult being a black gay person in America. It's hard because we face so many obstacles from family members, friends, our community, and it has a devastating effect on many of these guys here. This man was in school at Georgia Tech. That wasn't the first person I met who went to Georgia. Georgia Tech is a prestigious university, college here in Atlanta. How could you end up at Georgia Tech with a full scholarship, a full ride, and not succeed? Not because you get caught up. These guys would get caught up. There was a guy named Ben. I'll never forget Big Ben. Very handsome guy. 6'10", 6'11", tall guy. Ben was at Georgia Tech. Met Big Ben. I thought he was a handsome guy, but he was just so caught up. And I remember he telling me all the time, I'm not ready for no relationship. I'm having too much fun. But that fun cost him his life. And he died here in Atlanta. He never graduated from Georgia Tech. I've been through a lot here. But I can honestly say God has been on my side. I'm not a religious person. Just not. But I do believe rejection is a form of God's protection. I've dodged many bullets here. I got lucky. Because someone was protecting me, building a wall and keeping the riffraff away. I told that young man tonight, I said, be glad, go about your life. Yeah, only 25. I didn't meet her until I was 26. Sometimes it takes time, patience. Accept the rejection Move on. Be glad. Like I said, I've been rejected so many times, I lost count of the many guys over the years. I mean, literally from 1989 to 1996, before I met Earl, I was rejected so many times, it was just unreal. I dodged so many bullets, I'm so grateful. When someone rejects you, move on, because there's something else going on in the universe that you don't understand. Be glad that person rejected you and go on with your life. Anyway, it is now 5 minutes after 11. It is time for me to go to bed. I'm tired. I finished sipping on my wine. I'd like to read your comments and see what you think. Do you agree with me that rejection is God's form of protection? Rejection is God's protection. I used to hear that statement. I used to always think about that. But it's true. It's very true. Anyway, have a good night, y'all. I'm out. Bye.